40 years. That's how long Dream Theater has been around for. Since their days of majesty and to when they eventually became Dream Theater, starting with their When Day and Dream Unite album and Images and Words and everything else. They've been around for a dang long time, even celebrating their 40th anniversary with the, what is that, Quanta Maria or something, Quartina Maria at Paris, anyway. Here's one from 2004, live at Boudakon. Oh, yes, this is indeed quite a DVD right here, with the songs on here. As I Am, This Dying Soul, Beyond This Life, Hollow Years, War Inside My Head, The Test That Stumped Them All, Endless Sacrifice, Instrumentally, Trial of Tears, New Millennium, Keyboard Solo, Only a Matter of Time, Goodnight Kiss, Solitary Shell, Stream of Consciousness, Disappear, Pull Me Under, and In the Name of God. Yes, this is the progressive metal band that, obviously would take influence from Gentle Giant, King Crimson, yes, Genesis, and also probably some other heavy metal bands that would eventually lead into the progressive metal genre, perhaps the most complex metal genre out there, in my opinion. I could be wrong, though. This DVD was 3 hours long. Just to give you an idea, notes. This is also where I originally had Halloween, but eventually I just said, yeah, you know what. So, 5 members that graduated from the School of Juilliard, by the way, or took classes there, whatever. As I Am is their opening song. It's got a nice intricate solo from Petrucci. And we're not just talking like 4/4 solos. We're talking stuff like 7/4 time, by the way. This Dying Soul. Portnoy, the drummer, is being great. We got some nice keyboard. You get some blue lights, frenetic pace. James' vocals matched with a kid growing up. Multiple things make a Dying Soul. Ultra has a nice pace. Trade-off. There's also a great trade-off between guitar and keyboard. So this is like, when they're talking like, and then playing the guitar at the same time. But it's got some orange lighting, and many riffs are played, and it's an excellent keyboard solo. I'm astonished. That last 2 minutes, just right up towards the end, where it just gets to be almost Yngwie Malmsteen levels of shredding right there. Third song, Beyond This Life. It's got a nice, fast-paced intro. It's also a headline of rhymes with Bluicide and Blurter. Love affair, that wrong. James is showing his vocal range right here. And this is definitely more of a story-based song, because in the ending, it's like they go really fast, but then they say, when they slow everything down, it said, headline, doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. Nice soft interlude to a keyboard solo. This is a bass solo, as well as to show that the love has malice. And also those keyboards. I even wrote down here, GD, those keyboards. Holy smokes. There's a band improv in the middle. Let's see. They're back to the jam. Petrucci is doing arpeggios. You got Yngwie, I even wrote it down yesterday. Yngwie shredding there. And beautiful keyboard drum kickoff. Hollow Years is a mellow into James, and he's sitting down. Very nice brief solo from Petrucci, and there's also a bridge and chorus, a very nice ballad. And this is pretty much just saying, like, once the weight is off your shoulders, thinking that you're living, when you have a little responsibility on you, and then lo and behold, like, once the weight is off your shoulders, you feel so much better. And at this time, they're also promoting the album 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. There's actually a 45-minute rendition on their Score album, which I want to get to, with a freaking orchestra. And you can watch it on YouTube. The entire thing is like 40 minutes long, so it is a demanding watch, I will say that. Let's see. War Inside My Head. Band gets audience to clap. Let's see. Lower notes to to show the abstract themes, very specifically PTSD. Hearing voices from miles away, there's a nice transition to the next song, which was Voice Inside My Head. No, I'm sorry, the Test That Stumped Them All, which had to deal with delusions and stuff like that. Let's see, and oddly enough, what I noticed is that Mike Portnoy has some high vocals, falsettos in here, and LaBrie has a lower register. Song encompasses all the chaos going on. I mean, when they're playing. It's absolutely crazy to see. Endless Sacrifice to get some mood lighting, got a nice soul solo picking up, and it is a nice slower number. Overall, it's more for James to sing, and you wonder what's the sacrifice about. It was written by Petrucci, who missed his wife while touring. So it was a way for John to also showcase his skills, got a good bass at the end, and saying like, hey, this endless sacrifice, but it's all worth it in the end, you know. Instrumentally, James takes a break, and there's some severely skilled playing display with a little bit of comedy riffs in there. Watch for yourself. And there's also some, what was it, liquid tension experiment vocals riffs going on here. Very specifically, Acid Rain. Let's see, and then yeah. And then Trial of Tears, I think, was written on a 6-string guitar and standard tuning EADGBE. By the way, I got most of this from the Dream Theater wiki. James holds the song words Tears and Hate for about 5 to 10 seconds. And yeah, it was written by John Myung when he was very young, about when he was depressed. It was a nice neoclassical solo from John. This is a great song for kind of driving and clearing the mind. Great keyboard solo. Raining Deep in Heaven, a lot of reverb, and a nice coda. We're only on song number 10 of 18, by the way. New Millennium. Dreary intro with keyboards before something very nice solo / vocal lighting rig. One POV, lyrically a symbolic time to change mentally. Young plays a 12-string bass, and Portnoy seems to hit a falsetto. It's like New Millennium, new way to change your mentality, like I was from the 1990s to 2000s. Remember the 2K scare? Only a matter of time. Rapid vocal deliveries, and it almost felt kind of Broadway-ish. That was very surprising to me. Let's see. It's like the glitz and glamours of what the music lifestyle is. The instruments show what the pretty slick side of it, and how it can also be really bad at the same time when you see like Bad Company, Shooting Star, or pretty much the entirety of Wasps, The Crimson Idol. Let's see. Rudess's keyboards here are dang, as I have dang in capital letters, and then just a something, then band jams to the end. Goodnight Kiss, mood lighting, solo, soft vocals. A mother-child relationship has to do with postnatal depression / when the doctors made up a very egregious blunder, if you will, during an operation. It's a relaxing pace from all the chaos, from all the intensity going on earlier. Solitary Shell. With a 7/4 time signature, you got some arpeggios, and actually has to do with those on the who have the autism spectrum disorder, Asperger's syndrome, me. It's more of a positive beat in the lyrics, and it's a nice upbeat piece with melodies. It describes it most of the will. He's a Monday morning lunatic, but even as the man trying to just go on and trying to defy all and conquer everything. So like, oh, you're going to be absolutely nothing, but then you just wallop them just like that. You pretty much just defy all their expectations. You're like, yeah, you take that, bitch. And when you do it, you just get a certain sense of smug satisfaction. That's writing for, one of the lyrics was writing for hours on the page at a time, having intense concentration, I guess you could say. Let's see. And then there's also, like, what are those type of, like, Jamaican drums, timpani drums or something like that? Stream of consciousness is pretty much the riff slash melodies introduce a song, no lyrics. And in the projections they also have like fireworks on a monitor, and each member gets a chance to really just show their piece. Disappear, which is a ballad intro about a relationship. Woman passed on. The woman wants the man to move on. Guitar provides a backdrop, which is about the woman unfortunately having a terminal disease and how it can affect the relationship. When unfortunately she passed on. Pull Me Under. This one is famous as heck, and it has to do with Shakespearean themes, Hamlet-ish. Some of the motifs, if you will, thematic elements going on in Hamlet. But I don't know. I never read Hamlet, so I couldn't tell you about it. But at the very end, how it stops, and it's meant to symbolize how death can come very quickly at any time, so that's why you gotta do things that make you happy. And the slow build up for the section, and it's what most folks know. I think it's like, yeah, they even have a greatest hits album called Dream Theater's Greatest Hit, plus, what was that, 20 other famous, pretty good songs as well. In the Name of God, it's got a slower, more metallic opening. When the something when the prophet speaks in the name of God, the hypocrisy that can happen when a person gets too much power to their head, and when it should be uniting a bunch of people, just causes a lot of division and everything. Very specifically, I was wondering when they were singing, like, what is the 80 that were eliminated? Well, it turns out there was a siege in Waco of this cult, I guess. What was that? The Davidian cult or something like that? I don't know. But the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Division got called in and pretty much just had no choice but to take out 80 members of 130 of them in Mount Carmel. This is definitely very, very bloody and very interesting to learn. And first, I thought it was like Jim Johnson, who had his own religion. It was also where the members of his cult drink Kool-Aid. It's like, don't drink the Kool-Aid. Well, most of us don't know what the significance of it is. And also the Heaven's Gate, something, I forgot what that's about. So yeah, this can also be applied into everything going on here in the United States with all the turmoil and everything. So I like to dissect the lyrics of this and apply it to everyday life and see how it all still plays out. That even 20 years later, this stuff's still going on. So say what you will about that. I don't care. So now you're wondering, 3 hours. Yeah, but I'm not done yet. You're wondering, what is a Tokyo Budokan? Turns out it was a former Shinto shrine, and in order for bands to play there, obviously the Beatles were the first one, Cheap Trick, Bob Dylan, Ozzy Osbourne, Judas Priest, Eric Clapton, etc. You have to make an impact in Japan. People have to know your name and stuff like that. You must be invited by the group, because if they know you well, you can come in and perform over there. The band/management must send a handwritten formal letter expressing their desire to play there. You have to prove your popularity as well. And because of the way how the Japanese handle business, it takes time and has to go through all the proper channels, which also got satirized in Godzilla Resurgence. So say what you will about that, but yes, to play there is truly a very high honor. But only up Deep Purple Heaven anyway. So yeah, with all that being said, in this extensive, lengthy review and dissection, how do I feel about this? Well, this concert is 3 hours long. It's a demanding watch, and the lyrics aren't exactly, you gotta pay attention to the lyrics and dissect them and get the overall meaning. Go on the Dream Theater wiki, whatever. But when you do, you will be massively rewarded with freaking phenomenal musicianship. I mean, they were in the Juilliard School of Music, for crying out loud. You will get absolute great shredding, absolute great keyboards, and everything else. So yeah, I do recommend that if you're willing to pay attention, do a little research, Dream Theater, live at Boudakon.